Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm pretty excited. We've got some new spoilers from set 9. I always get excited when they do this type of stuff because I don't know, it's funny. Back in the day when they used to release new cards, like during the time of Mecha, SS3, Flute, and all that, I would get like pretty scared when they release new stuff. But now like the game has been in a great state. Like you can just see the difference in Bandai's design philosophies, and I think it's working out really well. So today we're gonna go over some of the new set 9 spoilers. I don't know how long this video is gonna take, so we might break it down into 2 parts. They actually spoiled a lot of stuff, so just keep that in mind. We're gonna see what goes on with that. But guys, before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss a video, and I'm gonna forego the rest of my other shameless plugs, guys, in favor of the Dalen Mac Tournament of Power. I'm gonna link it in the description down below. Make sure you guys can go if you guys are able to. The reason I'm foregoing my own plugs is because I believe in this tournament and my teammates so much that I think they're gonna throw the best tournament to date. So I need you guys to check that link out in the description below. Make sure you do check that out if you can go. It's gonna be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and then hopefully from then on we'll be able to replicate that experience and just ramp up the experience of Dragon Ball Super tournaments. So make sure to check that out. With that being said, guys, we'll get into this video. First thing I want to point out, the sick new banner on the Dragon Ball Super card game website. I always think that, like, I used to use this as like a background for my videos, and I think this banner just looks so sick. This might be the best one they've done so far. It looks dope. All right, but firstly, we're gonna talk about the starter deck. So it looks like Son Goku, looks like Ultra Instinct U7 is getting a starter deck. Now, we saw the other U7 Goku leader, and I might not talk about it in this video because, like, once the red cards come out, I'll probably do a video about those, and then I'll just be going over the same leader twice, and I don't really want to do that. But one of the interesting things I want to point out is that leader did not have Warrior Universe 7, and this leader does. If you guys remember, Warrior of U7 is like an older trait that says it treats all U7s in all areas as if they had no specified cost. So that blue-red Ultra Instinct leader that we saw seems like it's going to be tied to blue-red. It could not be, depends like what the format shapes up to be, but this leader in particular does have Warrior of U7. It also has base crit, and it looks like no card draw on the Unawakened side. The Awakened says if you have a U7 in play with 25,000 power or more, or your life's at 4 or less, draw 2 and flip over. So I guess you get rewarded for cheating something in pretty early. Otherwise, if you have 4 or less, you just draw 2. No energy on tap either for a red leader. Not looking too hot, but we'll see what the backside does. So we've got Ultra Instinct, Son Goku, Hero of U7. Again, base crit, Warrior of Universe 7. When this card attacks, draw 1. Then choose 1 Universe 7 card in the battle area, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So I guess depending on when you can drop that 25k battle card, this leader can be pretty good. Like if you can do that as early as turn 2 and then Awaken, and then you're just swinging with crit every single turn, drawing a card, and you're a 15k crit, that can be really good. So I think it's pretty dependent on how early you can drop a 25k beat stick. Maybe we'll see that in the structure deck, who knows. All right, Friendly Rival Frieza. We got a 4-drop 20k auto. If your leader card is red, when you combo this card, choose 1 red extra card from your deck, place it in the drop area, and then shuffle your deck. So immediately this screams to me Dormant Legend, and of course this is going to be something you can use with that because it doesn't seem to be restrictive on any leader or any type of trait. But I don't know, I guess we'll see if there are any U7 extra cards that also benefit from the drop area. So far, seems like a good card for Dormant Legend, but we'll see what the rest of the starter deck has for us. Ultra Instinct Son Goku, Universal Impulse, 2-drop 16k, Energy Exhaust. It's a blue-red card. When you play this card, it gets plus 10,000 power, and you cannot play non-Universe 7 battle cards for the duration of the turn. Okay, so there's your turn 2 25k battle card. Funny enough, this is like a red battle card, so you could Awaken and play SS4 Goku Heartfelt Plea, but actually I guess this says you can't play non-U7s for the duration of the turn, so I guess you can't do that. Actually, never mind. Auto, when your opponent plays a battle card, you may return this card to its owner's hand. That's really weird. I guess you're paying 2 to Awaken at whatever life total you want, which is really cool, and it becomes pretty dependent on seeing this card. You can search for it with things like man, what's that card called? The U7 extra card, yellow extra card that looks at the top 7, adds a U7. There's also Ready to Fight Son Goku. So there are ways to get to this card. I guess just a matter of getting there. But that's a really weird auto. When your opponent plays a battle card, you can return it to the owner's hand. I kind of wonder why you'd want to do that, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Steadfast Ally, 5-drop, 25k, blocker, Energy Exhaust, When one of your red-blue multicolored battle cards is removed from your battle area by a skill, okay, so that's exactly why you want to do it. If SSB Vegeta Steadfast Ally isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card. So I guess the way it works is you play the 26k beat stick, you swing with it if you want to, and then it's going back down to a 16k, so you can leave it on the board if you want. Otherwise, you can bounce it back, drop the Vegeta, and that's a free 25k beat stick. Even if you don't want to use the blocker, the 25k beat is pretty strong. This starter deck's actually shaping up to be pretty good. I think it's going to be relatively decent. All right, so we got one of the extra cards we're looking at. We're in this together. Energy Exhaust, activate main. If your leader card is a U7, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, 25,000 power or less, and KO them. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw Invoker yet. Man, I probably should have started this video off with that. But Invoker says you can pay the cost for the extra cards in your color. So for a blue-red leader, it'd be a blue-red extra card. You can pay for those extra cards by paying one multicolor energy. So this looks like, if I'm gathering this all correctly, you can use this extra card. If your leader's a U7, choose all your opponent's battle cards, 25,000 power or less, and KO them. You can use that for one energy if your leader has Invoker. So, or I guess any battle card you control as Invoker. I guess, I don't know if it's restricted to battle cards, extra cards, but no matter what, if you have Invoker on the field, this becomes a 1-drop board wipe. That seems pretty insane. Activate main, pay a red. If your leader's a U7, add this card from your drop area to your hand. So this card even has recyclability, which is nuts. So two things. One, that seems like, you know, it doesn't pair super well with Overwhelm if you want to recycle this. It's probably not the most important thing ever, but that's something to keep in mind. The other thing too is if you're playing these U7 decks, and it seems like they do rely pretty heavily on extra cards, like I said, that other UI Goku, you have to pitch extra cards to self-awaken and gain advantage. So that's kind of weird in the sense that you have to run a lot of extra cards, it seems like, for these strategies to be viable. And we always know from the past that running a ton of extra cards isn't always like the best way to play a deck, because eventually you get into a point where you don't have too much combo power and you need that combo power to survive. So I can see where that might be a bit of a problem. But I mean, besides that, the rest of the stuff I've seen from the structure deck, it looks pretty strong to me. I mean, a free 25k beater, you can awaken on turn 2 with this UI Goku, swing, draw a card, crit. It seems pretty strong. I like it a lot. Let's go check out some of the promos here. So Frieza Mutable Menace. Now off the bat, this is a 2-drop Frieza. This seems to synergize with the Frieza swap engine. We'll see what the rest of it does. And of course, that's typically a mono red engine, but people did play red blue Frieza swap back in the day, so that can always be transitioned into a deck. 2-drop, 9k, activate main, pay a red, place this card in the owner's drop area, it has to be from the field. Choose up to one red or blue Frieza card with an energy cost of 3 in your hand and play it. So instead of swap, this is gonna basically sack itself for 1 red and pay a blue or red Frieza 3 cost from your hand. And there are a lot of targets for that. There's the 3-drop from the swap package itself. There's also like the 3-drop from the draft box as a barrier blocker. So you have a lot of flexibility with this card, which is pretty cool. Activate main, pay a blue. If your opponent has 3 or more energy and you choose 1 red or blue Frieza card with energy cost of 3 or less in your battle area and this card in your drop area and send it to the owner's warp, choose up to 1 red Frieza card with energy cost of 5 in your hand and play it. So this basically plays the swap card from the Frieza swap engine, the 5-drop double strike crit. Also a cold blood that's on legs, so that's pretty cool. And I saw a combo online that says you can do this on turn 2. You can play the entire engine on turn 2. That's pretty sweet. So this seems like, again, like it's gonna be pretty strong. Android 21 Scholarly Gambit, 4-drop, 5k, blocker, barrier, so it's basically not going anywhere. Activate main. If a copy of this card is not in play in your battle area, eat a clone token and play it. Auto. If you have 5 or more energy and place this card in the owner's drop area, when your opponent plays a battle card with an energy cost greater than the current energy, you may choose that battle card and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. A few things here. One, this card is a free counterplay, which is pretty nuts. It doesn't say counterplay anywhere on the card, but the auto activates when your opponent plays a battle card. And basically, you sack this card and you bottom deck that card. Now, it doesn't get around barrier, which is kind of annoying. It does get around deflect, but this is basically like almost a free Mutaito in the sense that it punishes your opponent for cheating things in. And it's just cool because it's not only tied to 21, you could play this in like 18 or any other decks in the future they make that maybe give your opponent tokens. But this card is really strong, really cool. I'm a big fan. You know, you're gonna have 5 energy in 21 most of the time. I like that a lot. Zeno Almighty Guardian, 3-drop, 15k, pretty decent stats. Counter battle card attack. Choose the attacking battle card, KO it, then play this card. A 3 cost, kill anything that swings. That's pretty dope. Permanent, if your leader has a universe in its special trait, treat this card with no specified cost, so it's a colorless negate essentially. That's really good. And your leader does not have to have Warrior Universe 7 to use that either, because it removes its own specified cost. Permanent, if you have 2 or more battle cards in play with a universe in their special trait, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So a 2-drop, basically a Mafuba that has combo power and kills the thing instead of just covering the thing. That's incredibly strong. I like that card a lot. Bardock, Surge of Inspiration, 1-drop, 4K, counterattack, negate the attack, play this card. Permanent, when paying for your leader's Awakened Surge skill, you may use this card in your battle area as part of the cost. So I think what that means is, like, when you activate Surge, you normally have to put cards under your leader. I think you can take this card from your battle area and put it underneath. Interesting. Not the most powerful card in my opinion. I mean, you're getting a body negate, which is cool. You can use it for arrival if you're in yellow and like Time Magic or After Image aren't super relevant. I guess this is cool because it gets a lot of like dual usage, but not one of the stronger cards in my opinion. It's probably not going to be at the top of anyone's list in my opinion. Broly, Swift Executioner, 4-drop, activate battle, pay a blue and a green. I should say it also has crit energy exhaust. If your leader cards are Broly, play this card from your hand, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you have to use activate battle to gain that skill. And then I wondered like why the heck they even made this a 4 cost and not just like a 2-drop, but this actually works with Dormant Legends, so keep that in mind. Auto, choose 1 card of your life, add it to your hand when you play this card, choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and place it in the drop area. This is cool. I really like hand control that lets you pick random cards out of your opponent's hand, because it becomes a bit more impactful. You know, in this game where you draw tons and tons of cards, you give your opponent the option to discard a card and they're just going to discard the weakest card in their hand. That random discard has a lot of impact in the game, which I think is really, really cool. Super Saiyan Rose Black, Goku Black, Divine Prosperity, 2-drop, 5K, counterattack, energy exhaust. When you play this card from your hand during your opponent's turn, choose 1. So basically, when you counterattack with it, if your opponent has 3 or less energy, choose to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and place it in the energy in rest mode. That's really strong. Wow, like if your opponent has that 3 or less energy, you get to basically remove any battle card they have. So let's just say like your opponent uses a turn 3 victory strike, which is not super likely, but it's possible, I guess. So you counterattack with this, even though the victory strike can't be negated, you can still place in the energy ending the attack. Like there's just scenarios like that where this can be really, really strong. And then if your opponent has 2 or more energy, choose up to 2 of your blue energy and switch them to active mode. Okay, so that's basically Aegis without the cost. So that's also really, really strong. This card's really cool. I like how it's not tied to the Goku Black Zamasu archetype only. I like this a lot. Whis Ethereal Guide, 2-drop, 10K, energy exhaust, auto. If your leader card's a red god card, basically Beerus, and you choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand. When this card is placed in the drop area from your hand by your leader card's skill, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. So this is kind of like an alternative to the 1-drop Whis Godly Fundamentals. This card a bit different because it is a dual color if you feel like you need different dual colors to charge, and this activates on discard, so you don't have as much flexibility with it, but it rests a battle card, which is pretty cool, I guess. Not the most impactful thing. Auto, pay a red. When you combo this card, it gets plus 5,000 combo for the duration of the turn, and then it ascends to the owner's warp at the end of the battle. So I guess if you're going to use Beerus' Awakened ability, combo this from your drop area, pay a red, you get an additional 5k, so it's basically like a 1 energy 15k at that point. Not too bad, but I don't think this is better than any of the red yellows you can play at the moment, or Whis Godly Fundamentals. Unless you need more Self-Awaken, you could add more copies of this card, which is pretty cool. But yeah, not the most impactful thing in my opinion. Sun Gohan and Piccolo, reliable reinforcements, blocker, energy exhaust, permanent. If your leader card is a blue-green multicolor, you can activate your leader cards, activate main, activate battle, and activate main/battle skills, even when your life's at 4 or less. So I believe the Piccolo Gohan leader has to activate at 3 or less for all of its backside effects, and this lets you do that a little bit earlier. Pretty cool. I don't know, this could be a thing because a lot of people are saying with that deck, you know, you have to be at a very specific life and you have to be eating a lot of damage in order to use your abilities. So this card helps with that, I guess, if you're ever caught in a pinch, I guess in a slower matchup. So this can be a good side deck card, I suppose. Going on to the rest of the promos, Cooler Clan Avenger, we have a 2-drop 15 Barrier Energy Exhaust. Auto, if your leader card is a Frieza Clan card, when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. Not too bad. Auto, if your leader card is a Frieza Clan, at the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent places the top card of the deck in their drop area. Okay, Oh man, all right. Luckily this does not work with Janemba, but I really hope they're not planning on printing like more mill cards. Like Janemba is enough of that in my opinion. And you know, if this is the only card in the Frieza archetype that does it, cool, whatever, that's fine. But I hope they don't print other cards to do this. That would be pretty infuriating. Android 18, Perfection's Prey, 3 cost 9k, Energy Exhaust. Permanent, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by and battle area by 1. So this becomes a free green-yellow combo for arrival if you have a low hand size, which I think is a pretty cool trade-off, pretty fair trade-off. Activate main, pay a green if your leader card is a cell, and you only have cell cards in your battle area. Play this card from your drop area, and you cannot play another copy of this card for the turn. Okay, so we haven't read any of the cell cards yet, and that video will probably come tomorrow because this one's getting a bit long. But this seems like you're going to need androids in your battle area to Union Absorb if they're still going with the Union Absorb thing. Maybe not. I also did read Successor, which is a new keyword skill. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, I guess. But this seems like it's going to be useful for that type of stuff. So overall, that's most of the new stuff I wanted to go over today. We're getting a lot of really cool cards, guys. I think that structure deck is really strong. I think these promos are very playable, and I should mention these are going to be in the new champ packs. So if you guys remember, we've been getting champ packs for a few seasons now, and they seem like they're going to be very strong. So I'm pretty excited, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll go over more of these spoilers, and I will see you next time.